Hey guys, it's Amy with 804 Sycamore, and I'm so excited to show you my girls' bathroom transformation. I took a very neutral farmhouse bathroom and added some boho vibes. I did a really cool wall treatment, which I'm going to show you just how simple it is. I put a little spin on traditional horizontal board and batten, and I hope you really like the paint color. After a few accessories, I just think the bathroom, it feels cozy, has great texture, a little bit of color, and much more style. So please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like DIY and decorating. Let's get going. Okay guys, so here's the bathroom before my little makeover, and that's the wall that I'm going to add the treatment to. So first thing I did was measure the width. And then I decided I was going to leave my baseboard, and I wanted a board at the top to kind of frame it in, top and bottom, and then I was able to determine how far apart I wanted to space the boards. Another consideration that I made was I didn't want to have to do a complicated cut around the door frame, so I decided to check that measurement from the top molding to that second board, and then I did the math and it worked out. So I have 14 inches in between all of my boards, and then it turns out to be 13 after I add my detailed trim piece. So just barely over a foot. The wall isn't super long, but I do have 10-foot ceilings, so I think the spacing looks really nice on this large wall. And as you can see, I'm using a 14-inch board to help me line it up. It would have been better to have two people to help me hold the board, measure. The boards aren't super heavy, but when they're that long and you're trying not to ding up your walls, it is nice to have some help to keep it level and mark it and everything. So after I measured twice, cut twice, really to get a nice fit, then I used some liquid nails, and then I placed it back on the wall using my spacer, double checking with a level, and it's kind of nice because you can put one brad nail in and that kind of holds it for a second, and then you can make sure your other side is level. So that part is a one-person job, but depending how long your wall is, it might be nice to have another set of hands. So here's the little curved trim piece, and it's very flexible, so I just set it on top of my trim and marked it with a pencil, and then I was able to make my cut and then put it in place and nail it in. So I'm putting a piece on the top and bottom of each horizontal batten, and the overall look is it just adds some nice shape. It adds a little more thickness, and that curve is a really nice piece for a look of elegance, which isn't necessarily Boho Farmhouse, but man, it adds a lot of character, and I really love how it turned out. So for the top board, I did not put the trim piece on the top. I just butted up the board all the way to the ceiling. It just seemed like it was the best choice so that I wouldn't have to worry about caulking that close to the ceiling. So that's just how I finished it, but you can decide how you want it on your wall. Okay, so once all of your boards and trim are in place, you can go ahead and start patching the brad nail holes, and I just use this patch and paint. It goes on purple, and when it's dry it turns white, and that way my impatient self knows exactly when I can sand it. When everything turns solid white, it's dry and can be sanded. After this part, then I will sand it, and I'm actually going to thoroughly clean the wall, because you don't want, when you caulk in between the boards, you don't want any dirt, dust, debris in there. It will it'll make it so the caulking doesn't stick, and you don't want that. So you can see all the purple turned white, and now I'm just taking a 220 grit sanding sponge and I am sanding everything flat. And you'll notice I touch it with my other hand to just make sure I have that nice smooth feel to it. And the nice thing about the sanding sponge is it kind of gets in there on that curved trim. So once you're done with that, get it all clean and wipe it so you're ready for this step. And this is just some flexible caulking. And I'm trying a new technique where I drag my finger as I apply it. For the most part, I would usually run a bead and then I would smooth it, but this actually saved time, and I did a lot of caulking to this wall to seal all the seams. So this technique actually made the process go much quicker. And then I still do go across with a wet finger and a rag to make sure everything is nice and smooth and it just blends into the wall. But this part went really fast and I didn't have a ton of extra caulking left on my finger. It starts out with a nice thin bead, and now I'm just smoothing it. So I really liked that new technique that I saw on Instagram. Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to show you me painting the whole wall, but I did want to mention a few things. For the painting of this wall, I did use 2 coats of Sherwin-Williams Fresh Idea. It's a beautiful muddy green color. It goes on a little bit lighter and dries a nice richer dark color, but I'm using a 2-inch brush to cut in and do the detailed work. And then I go in with my little paintbrush to really get close in there. And then this is just a 4-inch roller. And you could use larger, but I picked 4-inch because my horizontal battens are a little over 4 inches, and I didn't want paint squishing out over the edges. So anyways, for this project I used a 2-inch brush, a 4-inch roller, and then a tiny paintbrush to kind of get around those curved edges of my trim. And when I painted that taped line, I went ahead and I taped my white color first, so that wherever the tape didn't paint perfectly, the white would fill in the gaps, and then when that was totally dry, then I added the green. And as you can see, the tape works perfectly if you use the base color first, and so highly recommend that. So here we are. I added the rug, the laundry basket, some plants, new towels, a new shower curtain with some fun tassels, just to give it some boho vibes and texture. And I think the simple Boho Farmhouse wall treatment, it looks so great. I have a really busy tile floor, and then I have that huge tiled shower. It goes from the shower all the way up to the ceiling. But I think the green just adds a nice calming neutral touch. It adds some color, adds a little bit of texture in a small bathroom without a window. So anyways, I'm really happy with it. I think the brass accents add some warmth, and then there's black hardware in here as well. So you can see the color scheme. It's a girl's bathroom, so we got to keep it functional, but I love the texture and just how beautiful the wall turned out. So thanks for watching. See you later.